Are you twins? We get asked that every day.
And yes, we are twins.
We both work for New York City public schools as licensed speech and language pathologists.
We love seeing our students' eyes light up when they actually get it.
But here's the interesting part about our story. We struggled throughout our early childhood education with an undiagnosed learning disability.
Imagine going through middle school, high school, and even college struggling academically with reading. We don't have to imagine.
As kids, finding books about characters that look like us, dress like us, and even played like us is what got us through.
That was the game changer that motivated us to read even more.
That's why we started
Shenelle and Gennelle, where book talk meets culture. Besides, what's better than unpacking your favorite stories with your best friend?
Nothing. Girl, you know we unpack more than just books.
Yeah, you're right.
When you walk into a room, you want people to see your color. So what if people say, I don't see color? That statement is so annoying. That's a big statement.
Yeah.
How you not gonna see this? Full beauty of blackness. Like, I don't know, I don't get people. How do you not see that I'm black? Like, you know what, I don't see that, I don't see color at all. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how can you not? I feel like when you do that, you strip away part of who I am. You do. There's so much behind being, black in America. Not even in America, just in general. Right. Yeah, it brings a uniqueness that, So I feel like maybe if we start having this conversation, right? If people start saying, okay, let's walk away from the narrative of I don't see color, right? And just say, okay, I see color. So now we said our white counterparts could just say, oh yeah, the black girl, and we not feel offended by it because we're dismissing the fact that they are seeing our color, they are acknowledging our color, then we won't have to presume in our minds that because they said black that they have a negative connotation about it. That's true. But I think that would take a whole shift in society. But it starts with a conversation, though. It starts with a conversation. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I agree 100%. Like, let's start talking about not seeing color and I don't see color and people saying that to you and how that will make you feel. Like, I feel a how. Because when you say it, it makes me feel like, oh yeah, you do. It's like the very thing you're trying to stay away from is exactly what you're kind of like putting in the forefront when you say, I don't see color. Like, you're trying not to assume or be biased, and then in of itself, when you say that, you kind of like just take on that. Do you think it's a topic that people like? Do you think it's a topic kids should start talking about? I think starting with the younger generation is important because I think they will make the shift, and I think oftentimes maybe we are a little like scared, or not really scared, but I think people stray away from talking about it with kids because they think kids are so innocent, which some of them are, and naive, but no, they see it. Because when I work with the kids, I see that they see color a lot. Like one of the students I was working with this past week, he's Mexican American, and he's very proud of being Mexican American, but he also knows that identifying with being Mexican American also comes with all this stigma and rhetoric that he doesn't want to identify with. So he's afraid to say he's 100%. He's like, no, that's just my mom. But he doesn't understand that it's okay for him to identify with that aspect of who he is, So I feel like even like in the book that we've read with I Don't See Color, that book, even though it has nothing to do, it doesn't overtly talk about race. It talks about the color of your clothes, like the kids wanting to dress in these bright, brilliant colors, but that elephant being in the room. Yeah, the elephant sucking the color out of the room. They also talk about the hues too, and how in the school they wanted everyone to look the same and be the same because they felt like that in doing that you make everyone equal. But I think when we do that, we kind of like sugarcoat something that, that's like putting sugar on a bran muffin. It's still gonna taste nasty. Like it's not gonna help the quality of the taste. Like if you try to sugarcoat something or like make kids believe or think something like we are all equal, yes, under God's eyes, we're all created equal, but we are all uniquely different. Yeah. And I think that acknowledging that is important because then you make people accept who they are and love who they are. Like I remember I was in a meeting with a family, a parent, and one of my students, something came up about this little boy was fixated because the school that I'm in right now, teaching, the neighborhood is changing, so we have a lot more white families that came in. So behold, to some of these kids, it's fascinating. It's like something new, it's like, wow. And he kept saying, yo, Miss Taylor, you seen him? You seen the white boy? You see the white boy? And I was like, is that how we're gonna go around describing our classmates? So I was like, kind of like in between, like, how can I address this topic without Learn
being...
his name? That's true. But I know, that's how I feel too. I want the kids to say like, learn who he is. But it's like something new, something different. It's something that he's probably not exposed to on a regular. So he didn't know what language or what words to use to describe him. And I'm wondering, like, is that appropriate for a little kid in kindergarten, believe it or not, to go around describing his classmate? And
I feel if we spoke about it more, it won't happen. Like, I feel like when people, like in the book, when people talk about it, I think the concept of, like, I don't see color is the fact that they don't want to offend anyone. And I think that's what the whole thing is. Like, with this elephant, they're like, I don't want, like it says, Miss Mary was angry and gasped. She couldn't believe these kids kicked the elephant out of the room. I can't believe you did that. Are you kids insane? Don't you know the world is better when we are all the same? I don't see color. That's the best way to be. I don't see color. Then everyone is just like me. Yeah. And I think that's the change that I think that's what kids, when you say I don't see color, you want everybody to be the same. And I think that that's a shift. Like even in the schools now, when the kids are now seeing different kids of different ethnicities coming in, they're like, wow, this is, this is different for them. And it's okay. I think that's a conversation to say they're okay that they are different.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have to look or be like you.
And I think it's a good conversation to have. And you know what I really like about this book, though? The way the narrator and the illustrator were so clever of how they use that elephant, because that elephant is the headmaster of the school. And he's there throughout in the background of this whole narrative, the whole story. And he's the one that really sucks the color out. And there comes a point where there's a confrontation between the students and the elephant, which is the principal. And once again, it shows how children can make the change in their school, in their community. They stood up to authority or someone that could have been in a position of power over them and stood up and said, no, we're not going to stand for this. And we don't think that we should be defined like this or categorized like this. So, it came to a point, one of my favorite parts in this book. The elephant was the one that wanted everyone just alike. He was the one that removed the color from their sight. He hated color and hues were not right. He wanted all people to look just alike. Then Elephant squalled at the sister and brother, I want everyone to be equal. I don't see color. Like, it's so subtle, right?
Yes, it's so subtle. It's like you think like when you're saying that you're making everybody the same.
But you know what? The elephant thought he was doing the right thing. He was saying, hey, we all have to make sure that everyone here is treated equal. And if I start treating you this way and you this way, or I see you this way or you that way, then I'm not treating everyone equal. And I feel like the elephant had good intentions.
Yeah, I feel it always starts off with a good intention.
I feel like the elephant had good intentions, and those good intentions kind of got extreme.
Yeah, and when you take anything to the extreme, it becomes some sort of error.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even in saying that, you dismiss the fact that people are different and people have different identity. And we know that just being of a different ethnicity or being a different race in this country it's different. Yeah. You have a different experience, you have a different story. Even it doesn't matter what side of town you grow up, you have a different outtake in life. So I don't see color kind of eliminates that story, that narrative, that culture.
Yeah, and I think it's so important for us to remember that it is important for us to all be different. Because if we were all like us, this world would be such a less interesting
I know people
place.
are going to be thinking, how are we different?
I know, right? Because what? So people think we look, do we look alike? When I look in the mirror, I do not see myself.
I do not see you.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, you look totally different from me. But I know that we are identical, right?
Except baby pictures. I got a confession to make. If I look at baby pictures, I have no idea who I am. I'm like, who? I think I was standing.
I'm the chubbier one. Like, I think I always had a little more.
In some pictures, I can't tell. In some pictures, baby pictures, I can't tell.
Thank you for watching this episode. We hope you enjoyed and feel inspired.
More importantly, we want you to engage in conversation and join the community.
If you want more information about us, the books, or topics that we discuss, check out the description box below.
Bye.
That was almost perfect.
Almost. That's pretty good. Okay. What didn't you like?
I saw a projectile. And I was like, no, come back.
You didn't see that, right? Maybe it doesn't show on camera, but
My eyes showed it. My eyes was like, "What are you going?"
My eyes definitely deviated. Like, no. Okay.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you like what you see, please share, like, and subscribe. Till next time. Bye.